clap.
Clap, clap. Can't do that too loud because it might annoy the mic.
But every video starts with that, and then you usually trim it
Every
out.
video does actually start with that.
Ever since I've known you, you've always begun with
I remember the first video that we actually recorded together, I did this.
And I was like, is that?
Yeah, that's a Brad thing. Guys, welcome to the hashtag
LiveLeanTV
podcast. If you're listening, welcome to the show. If you're not listening on the podcast and you're watching on YouTube, what's up, everybody? But we are now on Spotify, on SoundCloud, on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, all kinds of podcasts. So if you want to listen to us while you work out, while you walk the dog, while you're driving to work, check us out on the podcast. Link down below.
We're excited to answer your questions this week. These questions were actually collected 2 or 3, maybe 3 weeks ago on our Insta story. So make sure you're following at LiveLeanTV on Instagram because that's where we're going to be collecting questions for this show going forward. But the ones we're answering today were from a couple weeks ago because we got so many that day. So we just haven't had the chance to answer them all yet. So if you asked us a question a couple weeks ago on Instagram, this may be your show.
All right, let's get into it. What's the first question?
Okay, so we'll start one with, I don't know if it's Fabio 93. Good resistance band brands for working out on travels.
Well, it's interesting you asked that because we're actually searching now for a good resistance band company to work with. Jessica has a new program coming out. It's a pull-up. What is it called again?
It's called, should I tell him?
Yeah.
It's going to be a surprise, but it's called Pull Up Babe, and it's a women's pull-up program to help you achieve your first pull-up within 30 days. So it's going to use resistance bands.
Exactly. So it's going to use the resistance bands. So we're testing a bunch of different resistance bands because they're not really all created equal.
Yeah.
So we're working with one right now. Jessica is going to do an actual workout video using the band.
Yes.
So I would just say stay tuned to this channel because we're going to be announcing what that resistance band is in a video coming soon.
When I find the best ones, I will make sure to let you guys know because I am going to be like pretty picky about that. And I need to make sure that I test them and actually put them to use before I tell you which ones are the best ones.
Okay.
So I'll let you know.
Next question comes from Cozy on Instagram. Says, so aside from maybe sprints or kettlebell swings, which I do, other ideas between sets?
I definitely like to rest between my sets. Like I just like to stand around and breathe. But it definitely depends on which program you're following. Some of our programs do incorporate elements like Ignited Up. Segments in the workout, like in Afterburn 2.0 and Afterburn 1.0, you have that. In Formula X, I have burn sets and different elements of like kind of cardio for in between your lifting sets. So yeah, if you're following a program, it'll give you a lot more ideas than you could just think of on your own. And this is like a really common problem for people who are not following a program. They only know like 2 things to do and they're like, oh, well, I'm bored of this, now what? But when you're on a program, there's like idea after idea and it'll make you do stuff that gets you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So if you're running out of ideas, that's what I would suggest is like find a new program to follow because then it'll give you like all kinds of original different stuff.
Yeah, it really depends on what your goal is as well. So if you're training for strength, we really need you to focus on rest, especially
like
for
the
your
rest is essential.
Especially for your central nervous system, because we're going to have you lifting heavy. With muscle building, you also need to give your muscles a little bit of recovery time, so when you go back to the next set, that you can actually give it your full effort. Now, if fat loss is your goal, then this is another good way to increase, the calorie burn throughout the workout, increase your heart rate. So you said sprints. Kettlebell swings are good, jump rope is good, any sort of plyometric exercise like jump squats, jump lunges, push-up, anything body weight I think is a good mid-set or between 2 sets style workout.
Yeah, like something you could do in a small space.
What am I trying to say?
Good. What you're saying, like a good exercise, I guess, to use.
I just mean like in between sets.
It's a good element and way to create a balance of cardio and strength within one session.
But just make sure that you give yourself actual rest time to allow your heart rate to come back down again, so you're not just always in that elevated heart rate state, which can, if you're in that high heart rate state for too long, like even over 2 minutes, you kind of go into that energy system where it's more of aerobic as opposed to anaerobic. And I know that's kind of getting a little technical, but the anaerobic stage is where we like to be as live leaners because it's not going into that endurance aerobic stage, which can potentially, I know it's a little bit iffy, but it can cut into, muscle building and get you into that catabolic state. So I would prefer you to follow the program just like Jessica said and follow what that says, but any of those exercises that we just talked about are also decent. All right.
Yeah, as always, it always depends.
Yeah, next
Depends
question.
on the goals and everything. But okay, so let's take this one from Little Sunshine Grace. Do you guys eat protein bars? If so, what kind / brands?
You know what?
We
rarely.
We really don't.
The only time I eat protein bars is if I'm on the road and I
Yeah.
need something quick.
Yeah.
But I
Which
never.
would be like maybe a few times a year.
But I never
Not
sit.
often. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, she's cutting me off again.
Let me just back up a little.
So.
Sorry.
Oh, just hit my head. So I have never sat there. I think I've only ate one protein bar, and it's not even a protein bar, it was a protein cup that I ever was like, this is delicious.
The Quest.
That was the
peanut
Quest,
butter cup.
and it was in New York City when we were living there, and we can't find them anywhere anymore.
I remember you guys, we had this conversation.
Yeah.
He goes, I wonder what my macros would be if this is all I ate every day. Remember that?
Yeah.
There's like nothing but protein peanut butter cups.
Can I hit my macros if I have one of these every single day? So I haven't been able to find those Quest, I think they were almond butter cups or something like
they
that.
were discontinued.
Yeah. But any other protein bar, honestly, you know, there is a good protein bar. It's not your stereotypical protein bar. It's those Epic meat sticks that I really like.
It's more like a beef jerky.
Yeah, I think the company's called Epic. I like those. It's like bison, there's beef, there's turkey, there's salmon ones, there's chicken ones. I like those as opposed to the processed
like
ones.
The cookies and cream or whatever.
Especially, you know, you got to look at the ingredients on these bad boys. Like, they're rough, a lot of them.
Yeah,
So,
these bad boys.
Unfortunately, there's no quick fix to a high protein snack that's packaged and processed, except for, like I said, those Epic ones, but they, you know, focus on real food.
And you know what I find really weird? I saw this post on Instagram the other day that was comparing a protein bar to just like a chunk or like a serving of salmon, right? And it was like the protein bar had like 15 grams of protein and the salmon had like 27.
Yeah.
And I was it's like funny how people are always thinking like protein bars are really high protein thing, when in reality, like if you just eat actual food, you're probably getting more protein and less chemicals, less additives. So I understand like the desire, people are looking for protein bars because it's like a candy bar, right? And it's like sweet, it fulfills your kind of dessert craving, whatever. And it's also packaged, easy to travel with. But I really feel like food is far superior.
Of course.
Far.
So but, yeah. I would put the challenge out there, and I'll end it with this. If you guys do eat protein bars, go get your protein bar, look at the nutrition package or the nutrition label, and actually not even the, well, I mean, look at the ingredients, but calculate out where the majority of the calories come from.
Yes.
And then you'll be able to tell, is this a protein bar? Is this a sugar bar? That sort of thing. So
there's usually a carb bar that says it's a protein bar.
Because it
but
has
if you
10
really
grams
look
of
at the
protein.
macros,
All right. We beat that question to death. Next question from Rosalind Tapper says, is it possible to lose fat without the scales changing much?
Absolutely. And I'm like emphatic about this because that's exactly what happened to me. Guys, my transformation has been one of those where my weight and my clothing size has been pretty much equivalent like the whole time. Like I never really had like a complete wardrobe change or like the scales never really changed dramatically. What did change was my appearance, the way I feel, my performance, and just my leanness, you know, my composition. So absolutely, the scales are not, and this is just like so frustrating to me that this is even still a thing, but like the scales are just do not measure your success the way that other success markers do.
Yeah.
And so I really encourage all of you to like take the scale weight with a grain of salt. Like take it so lightly because it is so less meaningful than most people make it.
Absolutely. I mean, you nailed it. I have nothing else to say.
Nothing else to add? Yeah. I mean, you feel the same way, right? Your transformation had nothing to do with scale numbers.
We've done so many videos on the weight scale. And I mean, yes, it gives you a little bit of a sense of where you're going. But overall, it's just measuring weight.
Yes.
What we want to measure as a Live Leaner is body composition. Where is that weight coming from? Is it from lean muscle tissue, which is metabolically active? It's going to help you burn more calories through the day. That's what you want. Yeah. Or is it from stored body fat, which you need a little bit of stored body fat to live, but if the majority of your weight is coming from, not even the majority, but a big portion of your weight is coming from stored body fat, then let's recompose that, burn that off, add muscle, and you could potentially be around the same weight, but you're going to look a lot better, you're going to feel better, you're going to be stronger. That's the answer. Yeah. Next question.
Okay, so Horsley Crystal says, do I really need a pre-workout or post-workout supplement? What is a good pre and post-workout meal?
Okay, so you really
The supplements?
do not need a pre-workout or a post-workout, but it can help. I take a pre-workout before pretty much every single workout. I love caffeine. If there's one, and I mean, I don't even know if I would call caffeine a supplement, but if there's one thing that works for me, it's caffeine. Like, I feel caffeine. Unlike a lot of supplements, I'm just not a responder to. But caffeine is one of the ones that does, so I really prefer a pre-workout because I can get more work done at a higher intensity while I'm in the gym when I'm feeling that activeness from the caffeine.
And mental focus.
Oh, and that's a great one, mental focus.
Because it's not just physical, it's also mental. Like, you have to be 100% focused on your workout, and caffeine really helps with that, kind of zeroing in on what you're doing at the moment. So.
And then a post-workout supplement, it doesn't have to be in supplement form, but a post-workout nutrition is very important to recover after you tear down the muscle. So you tear down the muscle in the gym, you rebuild it when you get home, and you start eating foods that are higher in protein and that sort of thing, because it rebuilds the torn muscle cells that you have put your body through. So that's why, but that can be from a chicken breast, that can be from beef, from salmon, from turkey. It doesn't have to be from a protein powder, but the benefit of a protein powder is it's quick.
Fast absorption. It
absorbs quickly in your body, and in a lot of ways it tastes good because you can make a smoothie. And if you're having trouble hitting your protein goals, protein powder can help with that.
Yeah, and you know how you're kind of like thirsty at, like, right after a workout, you want something cold, refreshing. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I don't really feel like I want to sit down to like a hot meal right away after I've just been breathing heavy and like working hard. I like having like something cold. And, like a smoothie is nice. It's refreshing.
Especially most people work through the day, and if they go train at lunchtime, it's something quick.
Yes.
If they train...
No cooking.
Yeah, exactly. If they train in the morning, quick, go to the work, that sort of thing. So,
but absolutely, you do not need these things. Totally optional. Like, someone could get incredible results just using food before and after their workouts. No supplements whatsoever. And I've seen it happen with a lot of clients, either if they can't afford them or just don't want to take them. It's completely optional, but they are luxuries. They're nice to have, and we like them. We use them because we like them. Yeah.
Next question from La Cloud says, is it okay to have a VEGA protein shake for breakfast?
VEGA, I have tried it, and you guys, I do not like it. Do you?
Again, VEGA is not going to be sponsoring this video.
I know, I'm so sorry. I'm like, is VEGA watching right now?
Well, it's just I
just don't like it.
Plant-based proteins are just a hard...
They're so tricky. It's like they're really like...
They're grainy. Tasty. They don't taste as good as what an egg protein or a whey protein does.
They don't blend very well.
Kind of
have this like
mouthfeel. We've tried a lot. We're testing one right now from Earth Nutri as well, which honestly has been like the best one so far.
But it's still not great.
But we still don't prefer that. We prefer, she takes a whey, I take an egg protein.
By far my favorite. I mean, whey and egg, they both like blend seamlessly to where they're like creamy when they're mixed with liquid, but any kind of like plant protein I've never enjoyed.
But let's just answer this as, so VEGA is a plant-based protein. So let's just say, is a plant protein powder okay in the morning? So again, from an amino acids perspective, like proteins are made up of amino acids. Plant-based protein is not the best, but if you're vegan or vegetarian, I get why you're taking it. Is it good for breakfast? Yeah, it's okay for breakfast, but once again, I would prefer you to have real whole food during breakfast. But if it's going to help you get protein into your breakfast, then yes, I would say all the more power to you.
I would say for the person who's like skipping breakfast normally, and this is like your kind of effort to have any breakfast at all, then it's better than no breakfast. But,
I was going to say, unless you're doing intermittent fasting, but if you're trying to get breakfast in, protein is so important for breakfast as opposed to the high carb breakfasts that the standard American diet is comprised of. So do what you have to do to get in the protein.
One more thing about that question before we finish it, it's like just the way it's worded, like, is it okay? Like, you guys, everything's always okay. You can try things. It's not like it's good or bad. It just may not be the best thing for your goals. But I mean, I don't want to like give you kind of like yes or no answers, like, no, that is not okay. You can't have that. Because maybe if it's not what we would do, maybe it's what you would do and you enjoy it and you're getting good results from it. So I just want you to know that it's always okay to do what's working for you, even if it's different from what we do.
So is a Twinkie okay for breakfast?
Yeah. If that makes you happy, boo, you do you.
We'll agree to disagree on that one.
Okay.
I think you need guidelines when you're trying to transform your body.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if I don't think a Twinkie is going to make you really, truly happy and get you really good results in the end. But
So then it is.
But it's not that it's not okay. It's just that.
So what's your definition of okay?
I know, right? That is vague. I don't know, guys. I just don't want anyone to like feel like, oh, it's bad if I do this and it's good if I do that. It's like not a good, bad situation.
Well, one thing, like I always say, is taking you closer to your goal.
Yes.
Another thing is taking you further away from your goal. So if you don't like the words good or bad, think about it that way.
Closer and further.
Think, is this what I'm drinking right now? Is this taking me closer to my ultimate goal?
That mindset.
Or is it taking me away? And it's not to say that you can't have the occasional it's taking me away, because sometimes from a mindset perspective, that can take you closer to your goal because you're not feeling like you're depleting yourself of all fun in life.
True.
Like when we have our cheat meal of pizza, I don't think, oh, this is taking me further away from my goal. I'm saying,
not at all.
This is helping me live lean. It's a lifestyle.
Because it's providing that balance. So
Right.
yes, it's okay.
I like where that question went to.
I know I do too, because that honestly has been a huge thing for me in my live lean mindset transformation, guys. Like the mental transformation that goes on when you start living lean is so key. And I used to be a good, bad person. Is this okay? Is that okay? Is that bad? Is that good? And I just feel like that leads you down this rabbit hole of feeling like if you do something that's not okay or not good, then it makes you feel like you're a bad person or that you're not like good enough to reach that goal or something. So I think you got to get rid of that and say like everything you're doing is okay if it's leading you to the place that you want to go.
I love it.
So I know this was not the question.
No, but that actually led to a good, so I think, if you guys are watching right now or listening, tweet me at Brad Guthrie, let me know if that was a good
segue.
Yeah, like
tangent.
Yeah, or in the comments below on YouTube. Like that's one of the problems with the podcast is like we have a hard time communicating with you and hearing things. So I think the best way, like for the podcast, if you have questions while you're listening right now, like head over to Twitter, tweet me at Brad Guthrie or tweet at LiveLeanTV as well.
Or put them in the comment section just here on YouTube, down
Well, I'm
below.
I'm talking specifically to the podcast people because it's so tough. Like there's no communication with the podcast. All right, next question from Ms. Jenny D. Lane says, top 5 exercises to avoid when pregnant. We'll buy your program soon. Okay. Yay. So guys, or girls. Did you really expect me to jump in that, like own that question?
No, like I was just going to ask you, actually, I was going to say, let's see, you guys, let's just have a little fun and see if Brad knows what they are.
No.
Like I just kind of want to know, like, do you know what's safe for a pregnant lady?
I stay in my lane.
Like
I stay in my lane, people. Like what I mean by that is like, I don't pretend to be an expert in all things exercise and fitness and nutrition. Like I stay in my lane. I do what I do. I study what I study. I practice and preach and implement what I talk about. Pregnancy, obviously, I haven't lived that life. That's why you are here, which is such a great thing about this channel is we get both sides.
But you're a dad now, and you have 2 kiddos, and you've seen your wife train through both pregnancies. So I think you've paid a little bit of attention kind of to what I'm doing and not doing.
But it's not my area of expertise, so I'm going to leave that to the You guys have seen her rebound, not even rebound, like you've seen her go through 2 pregnancies now. So you've seen her go into it, you've seen her do it, and then you've seen her recover from it. And both times, I mean, look at you. Like both times you have absolutely crushed it. So I think you are the epitome of an expert in this subject.
I'm 10 weeks postpartum right now, just to put kind of like a time frame on this, just so you guys know I had a recent pregnancy.
Hit him with that side angle. Hit him with that side angle.
Well, the podcast can't see, so it's not fair. So let's talk about some things you should avoid when you're pregnant. Top 5. Okay, so I don't know, this is kind of an overarching one. This kind of covers all the areas, but anything that makes your belly dome or like put stress on your core. And if you don't know what doming means, it's like if you're a female and you've been pregnant, you know what it's like when you try to do a sit up and your belly kind of makes like a mountain or a teepee shape. So the middle of your belly is kind of protruding outwards. You want to avoid any exercises that makes your belly do that. So
that's number 1.
Yeah, all things that are like sit-ups, crunches, stuff
number
like
2.
that. Number 2 would be like pull-ups, because that's very straining on the core as well.
Number 3 is jumping.
Yes, thank you. Look, he got one, ladies and gentlemen. I'm proud of you, Boo. Jumping. Yes, absolutely, because it's risky and because it puts a lot of stress on your pelvic floor. How many do we have 4?
And this is number 4 coming up.
Like sprinting or like, I guess even like downhill running or anything that's going to be like really jarring because again, the pelvic floor. Yeah. So Did I get all 5?
There's one more.
Oh, one more. Super heavy lifts to where you're straining and like your face is turning blue. Like that's another one to avoid. So you just got to be careful, and like you can still do so much, right? Because those 5 things are like pretty extreme, and like you can do a little bit of core work, but not extreme core work. You can do lifting, but not extreme lifting. And
my question to this is, so does those 5 apply to all trimesters or just one, or does it matter?
That's actually a pretty good question. In the first trimester, you can get away with more stuff because you don't have a belly yet, so you can do a little bit more core exercises in the first trimester before your belly's starting to poke out. But me personally, I just kind of felt like with both my pregnancies, as soon as I knew that I was pregnant, I stopped doing all these things just to be on the safe side.
So in your LiveLean pregnancy program that you have different for each trimester. You have different phases.
Yeah. So I have a phase 1, trimester 1.
You mentioned you're going to buy that program soon, so we'll link that down below for you.
And the great thing about that program is you won't have this question anymore, because you'll just be focusing on all the things that you can do and that you should do while you're pregnant, and you won't even have to worry about what to avoid. No concerns. Just follow the program and just know 100% that you're going to be safe, because you're doing exactly what I did and I was safe.
Okay. You asked me this one?
CMM Mercer, 24. How should I get my boyfriend to eat healthy with me?
Ooh.
Love it.
That's a tough one. And I actually did a video on this. We'll link that down below. It's I think it was called how to get your man to eat healthy with you or something like that. Or something. I shot it in Bermuda.
Old school.
Old school Brad. And what I talked about in that it's more about leading by example. It's definitely not about nagging.
No.
Like from a guy's perspective, the last thing we want to do is...
That's what not to do.
If we're sitting down watching the game, she comes over, she's like, I can't believe you're eating those potato chips or this and that. Like, you should be eating celery. That's not the approach to do it for a man. I would lead by example, and then eventually he's going to be seeing your body change. The changes not only in your physique, but also your health, your overall well-being. And eventually, if he's a good dude, which... Let me tell you, most guys are good dudes. We get crapped on all guys. I mean, I know there's bad guys out there, but there's a lot of good guys out there as well. So just give him a chance.
Usually mean well.
Give him a chance. Let him do his own thing. Be on his own journey. But also, you can provide the meal. So you can make meals. So he doesn't have to stop eating deep fried chicken fingers. Just make chicken fingers at home for him and show him you can still eat chicken fingers, you can still eat burgers, you can still eat all the pasta, man foods,
all the things he wants,
but just make it healthy for him. And then, I think once you show him that you can still eat those foods and still, in a better way, in a healthier way, I think he'll come around.
Yeah, and one thing I like is to kind of blur out that line between healthy and unhealthy, right? Because if say you're eating something and it has cheese on it, it's just because it has a little cheese on it, it's all of a sudden unhealthy in your mind. It's let him, if it's, a big pile of broccoli with a little sprinkle of cheese, just focus on the fact that it's broccoli and he's eating broccoli. You know what I mean? So just don't try to categorize everything he's eating as unhealthy, because I feel that'll cause a lot of resentment in you. But look at all the good that he does eat and try to focus on when he does well, and then encourage him and kind of provide praise. Oh, that meal that you're eating looks so good. I'm so proud of you for being healthy or whatever.
But don't do it in a condescending way.
Yeah, it's tricky.
It's got to be in a genuine, authentic way. If it's ooh, look at you. Look at somebody eating broccoli. It's just going to be...
then he'll he'll hate it and he'll never want to
I think that, that gives you a few good tips there from a male-female dynamic.
Yeah, just relax about it, lead by example, and give genuine praise when he's doing well.
Next question from Crush It Kelly. I like that name. What are your top tips for maintaining a healthy mindset during a massive transformation?
Oh, I love it. Oh, I feel we've already talked about a few in this show, that one we were talking about, instead of good and bad, just think about, does it get me closer to where I want to be? I think that's huge for massive transformation, because a lot of people going through that, their biggest fear is to slip backwards, right? It's always this fear is oh, what if I make a mistake and I slip backwards into my old habits and stuff? And I feel don't think of it that way. Just think about every single day I have choices that I can either go forward and becoming the person I want to be, or I can, I don't know. It's forget about slipping backwards. Just think about going forward, right? Don't keep focusing on what you don't want. Keep focusing on what you do want.
Yeah, but if you do notice that one bad meal turns into another bad meal, it's don't throw your hands up in the air and say, it's done. I've ruined all my progress. this and that. This is just a part of a journey. Like if living lean was like this, everybody would be doing it. Like it's like this, you have a little bit of a lull, like things happen, life happens. Then you just got to pick yourself back up again. And how do you do that? You just go back to your why. So guys, if you haven't yet read my book, Think and Live Lean, go do yourself a favor and go pick it up. Like I poured my heart and soul into this, not necessarily just from sharing personal stories of my own, but how to actually transform your mindset from diets and this 6-week program and this into a lifestyle of this is just the way life is for me. So I would definitely say get clear on your why is what I always say. What I mean by that is, why does this matter to you? Why are you doing it? And like if I had a conversation with you on the phone, I'd be like, why? You'd say something, I'd say, why does that matter? And get really deep down into it until you get to that emotional thing that's deep inside of you that is the driving focus on why you want to change your habits, your lifestyle, and your behavior. So we go through all of that in that Think and Live Lean book. It's on Amazon. I think it's like $12 or $15 or something. It's an audiobook as well. A lot of people say they really not only love reading it, but also listening to the audiobook, and I'm reading it. So I do recommend you go check that out. We'll link those down below.
I love that. Honestly, that book has all of the top tips for the mindset transformation. They're all in that book, and it's just...
And at the end of every chapter, it's not like you read it and then you just go to the next chapter. After the end of every chapter, we have action steps for you to sit down and write out like things in your journal, how to get really focused and really clear on things. So please go check out that book. And if you have read the book, please do me a favor, guys, head over and leave a review on Amazon. I have a goal in mind of how many reviews I want to get over there. We haven't hit that goal yet. So if you've read it or if you listened to it, go give a review on Amazon.
Okay, so this one from Robbie Janai says, how to incorporate the LLWAY teachings into the LL program I'm doing. So how to combine nutrition and training. So LLWAY is the Live Lean Way 28-day video course where I'm sitting down with you talking over all the mindset. Honestly, that actually answers the last question a little bit too, because all of the mindset tips for nutrition are in Live Lean Way as well. Because Live Lean Way is really a mindset course. It's what it is. It's about thinking differently about the way you eat. It's not like 30 days of me telling you eat this, eat that, eat this, and then once the 30 days is over, you go back to your old ways. It's 28 days, not 30, but 28 days of doing the homework. Like Brad said, just like how in his book he has little exercises for you to do, Live Lean Way is like that too. And each day you're given an exercise, something you have to mentally do, and then something you have to physically do. So it's really a way of like getting those knowledge nuggets just deep into your core.
I like
you know?
that.
Knowledge nuggets. Because it's broken down into little nuggets as bite-sized pieces, right? So you can really soak everything and really understand all of the nutrition tactics that we use for living lean.
So that's a program on its own. And then so the person, Robbie, is asking, she has that program, and then she has one of our workout programs, which all of our workout programs also comes with a nutrition plan. So she's asking, how do you combine both of those? So maybe just talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, the great thing is you do your mental mindset session. So you're sitting down with me for like 15 minutes or whatever it is. You do your little homework from that, and then you do your workout separately. So they can happen in the same day. It's like you don't need... to do them on separate days or anything. You can do them at the same time. And one is working on your mind with what you're eating and how you're eating. And the other is working on your body physically with how you're moving and how you're working your muscles. So I feel like Live Lean Way goes perfectly with any of our programs or with any sort of physical activity because it's a mental activity.
Yeah, so the Live Lean Way, like you said, is the mindset sort of stuff from a nutrition standpoint. And then in the training program, there's a nutrition plan there, which is a little bit more...
It's tailored to the program.
Yeah. So think like lifestyle mindset approach to nutrition. And then in the program, it's a little more the details of this is when you do this, this is when you do this. So
and it'll have like recommended meals to eat with that program. And it recommends whether you're doing a calorie surplus or calorie deficit or how to calculate that. And also incorporating the energy needs from the program. Like it'll, because some of our programs use more energy than others. So it'll help give you a real gauge of what to eat and when to eat it and how much and everything. But Live Lean Way is going to teach you how you think about food. And your relationship with food.
Exactly.
So it's sort of it definitely complements.
Very
I highly recommend that everyone go through Live Lean Way, like no matter which training program they're going through, because having that knowledge will help you with every other nutrition plan that we provide.
Yeah. Second last question from Yushi is, what are the common signs of inflammation and how to get rid of it?
Okay, inflammation.
Ooh,
Usually, yeah, you know if you have inflammation because your joints kind of hurt, I think, and you feel like swollen and you're not recovering well from your workouts, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like tendinitis in the elbow, knee pain, shoulder pain, a lot of things, a lot of health-related issues all come back to inflammation in the body. You can actually have blood tests done to tell you how much inflammation is in the body. I've had my blood test done and done some labs on it, and like my naturopathic doctor was like, I'm shocked at how much you train and everything in your body. Like the inflammation is not an issue whatsoever with you. So I was very happy to see that. But how do you get rid of it is, self-care in a lot of ways. So not only doing like workout programs, but also following a mobility program or a yoga program. A lot of people go in, they do a 45-minute workout and then they just leave. Like they don't do a proper stretching, flexibility, mobility.
Well-rounded care.
Well-rounded care. So we have a LiveLean mobility program. We also have a LiveLean yoga program because those are missing key pieces to a lot of people's fitness programs. So those are follow along as well, where you actually go through the mobility workouts or the yoga workouts with us. You can check that out. Also, massage is a great way to do it. So I did have a little bit of elbow tendinitis, like what, 3-4 years ago. I was working with a chiropractor to help me with that. Also, I'm still testing it. CBD oil has been talked about that it can help with inflammation. Fish oil is another supplement that helps with inflammation.
Yeah, I thought you were going to talk about omegas.
Well, yeah.
Because sometimes if your ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 is off, that can lead to inflammation.
Yeah, the foods you eat can lead to...
eating more, yeah.
Absolutely. Like, so foods high in omega-6 fats, like a lot of the grains and a lot of the processed foods, a lot of the vegetable oils that are in the processed foods increases that inflammation in your body. So, if we got to get that omega-3 ratio back into play, and just go search our channel for omega-3s, and I talk about all the healthy foods for omega-3s.
Reducing the amount of processed food you're eating and increasing the amount of healthy fats that you're eating, like certain type of fats, like get more flax seeds in your diet, get more chia seeds and more fish oil, stuff like that. But I also think like taking some rest can help some people sometimes, because I think what we're talking about here is chronic inflammation, right? Which is different from just like post-workout inflammation, right? Because sometimes your muscles can be kind of swollen for a day or two after your workout, which is part of the muscle growth process, right? Which is a good thing. So if you notice you have inflammation, but it's going away after maybe 2-3 days, that's the good kind of inflammation, right? But the bad kind is when it's every single day and it doesn't get better, it doesn't go away, and you constantly feel swollen and achy and just not right, That's the kind of inflammation you want to address with these other kind of remedies we're talking about. But if it's just like you're swollen because you worked out yesterday, that's normal. And just if you drink more water and you eat the right foods and you recover properly and you spend time on your recovery, but like you said, doing mobility, doing yoga, stuff like that, it goes away and you get stronger because of it. So it's not always a bad thing.
Yeah, good. Last question.
Okay, so this one's from Sarah Kim 93. Weight loss. Does eating dates after workout affect our body in losing weight since it's sweet?
No, actually that's the perfect time to have the sweets. So when you're in the gym, you're training hard, you're breaking down muscle, you're losing glycogen from the muscle cells, so that's the sugar, the energy that goes into the muscle cells. After the workout, to help get you out of that catabolic breakdown state, that's when sugar can actually help, shuttle those amino acids from the protein into your muscles and help you rebuild and recover. So dates are actually a really good food to eat after your workout. It's a healthy source of sugar.
But I feel like we've talked about this a little bit before. Like when your goal is weight loss, you don't necessarily need to replenish as much of the sugar as if your goal is muscle building, right?
Exactly,
like you would recommend more dates for someone who is trying to build muscle, but definitely less or, a smaller portion for someone whose goal is weight loss. You don't need a lot of that.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the things that we struggle with is from a context perspective. Like there's different levels to the information that we give you. Like how detailed can we get? Like if you are extremely obese, you're extremely, you're diabetic, you have a lot of weight to lose, like sugar after your workout would not be needed. Like your body has enough going on inside of it that you don't need sugar after a workout. But if you're just like you said, if you just have 5, 10 pounds, 20 pounds to lose, you can get away with having sugar after a workout. So it really depends on the specifics of the person. But if you're feeling really guilty about having dates after your workout and you have some weight loss to do, you're being too hard on yourself.
Yeah, I know. That's what I think too. But then again, it's like, is there a better alternative that we could give her? Like,
it depends. Like that's a great alternative after your workout.
I'd much rather have you eating dates than like gummy bears.
Yeah.
But you know, it does depend on the context, and we'd want to look at the rest of your diet and make sure that, you know, this amount or whatever that you're using after your workout fits into the total picture, so that you're not over in your carbs for the day, because that's going to be more of a determinant if you're going to lose weight or not.
Right. But if you're just in everyday lifestyle, you just want to lose some weight, like you're not competing for a show, you're not a bodybuilder, you're not like trying to do this massive thing, then dates after a workout will be fine.
Yeah.
Like that's just, I feel like some people just get too over analytic on like things.
Worried about the little things when it's not the big picture.
And when it's just, you're just trying to live a healthier lifestyle. Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
But you know, there's one more thing I want to mention on this though, is like the fact that something's sweet doesn't make it necessarily bad for weight loss. I feel like that could be a misunderstanding there, is a lot of people give sweets a bad rap. Like everything sweet should be avoided if you're trying to lose weight. I don't think that's necessarily the case, because a lot of the foods that we eat have a naturally sweet taste and they're good for you. You know, a lot of vegetables have a little bit of sweet taste. A lot of fruits are very sweet.
What vegetables have a sweet taste?
Iceberg lettuce is sweet, bro. Carrots are sweet. Celery is a little sweet.
What do you guys think? Do you guys think iceberg lettuce is sweet?
Sweet potatoes are super sweet.
Everyone watching this right now is like, this girl is not relatable at all. She thinks iceberg lettuce is sweet.
Do you not think carrots are sweet? Come on, tell me a carrot is sweet.
I think of carrots as being a carrot.
And a beet is sweet. Have you ever had like beet carrot juice? So sweet. Oh my gosh.
But when we're talking sweets, we're talking like chocolate.
That's a different kind of sweet. Yeah. I mean, I'll admit that vegetables are not the sweetest of all the foods, obviously. But I'm just saying, like, I don't want you guys to get this whole misunderstanding that sweet equals bad for weight loss, right? It's not the case, because some things that are naturally sweet are very good for weight loss. Mm-hmm. Okay. We'll end it on that.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. That is another show. If you guys want your questions answered on this show, we have a long list that's going on right now, but go over to Instagram at LiveLeanTV, watch our stories, because we'll go on there randomly and be like, okay guys, we're collecting questions for the next Ask LiveLeanTV show, and then you'll see the little sticker tag on there, and that's where we get all of these questions from. So head on over to LiveLeanTV Instagram, we'll hang out with you there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and keep
living lean.
Living lean. Boy.